share your screen. Oh, I guess we don't need to.
Hey everybody, so today we are going over the legendary mods and gear mods from Outriders. Jeez, I can't even talk. Luckily for us, a person named Alexander Thomas, and the link for this is inside at the bottom of the YouTube video, so you guys can click on it. Also, we will put his YouTube channel and his Twitter so you guys can follow him and whatnot. He gave all of this to Lady for free. All we had to do is do a shout out, which is perfectly fine because anything we can do to help is awesome. Basically, he's already done quite a bit of research because he's been actually playing the game on behind the scenes, helping the devs kind of figure some stuff out, whatnot. So far, what he has is each class will have over, not exactly, over 70 perks to unlock and respec for free. So that means in your skill tree, you have over 70 perks. Now, when I don't know how much we can cover because some of us played something we're not allowed to talk about, but each mod kind of affects one of these perks in some way or another. And when I say there are a crap load of mods, I am not exaggerating on this whatsoever. And they're supposed to be releasing more from here till February. So we're going to go over some ones that we liked, that we've read up on, and kind of say why we like it and whatnot. Some of these have numbers next to them. The numbers reflect to the rarity as far as the quality. So there's one, which is basically like your rare.
Basic mods, yeah.
Yeah. Tier 1's
Blue.
your common. Tier 2 is your rare. Tier 3 is more like your legendary. It's more powerful.
Tier 3 can only be found on legendary weapons and armor, so.
And when you break stuff down, you can get some of these mods. So when you craft and whatnot, you can put stuff in. So these are things to remember, that you're not just locked into different things. Now, one thing we did cover before, I may screw this up. If I do, just let me know, is when you actually level up a weapon, you have to pick one mod you actually want to level up. The other one can be changed. Once you lock that mod in, it is permanently locked on that weapon. You cannot take it out. The other one you can take out, but one of them is stuck. So that's one thing to remember when you're actually deciding to max out a weapon, and there's one perk on it that you like, or one mod on it that you like better than the other.
So you get to pick the mod? I thought that the mod that came locked was kind of. It came with the gun.
The one video they said that you can pick one of the mods, lock it, and you can change out the other one.
Gotcha.
But I think you have
not
to
on legendaries though.
No,
they come with their...
legendaries are stuck as is, just due to the fact of how they are. But
you can break down your legendaries and get the legendary mods as well. But yeah,
it just comes with its own dedicated. It has its own dedicated.
And mind
mods on the weapon and gear.
The weapons are more geared towards weapons, so you're not going to find a weapon that has a Pyromancer mod on it for a Devastator. That's just not how it works. One thing that I think they covered in the video is that if you're playing Devastator, you're going to get Devastator mods. So you're not going to be getting Pyromancer mods or things like that. I don't know how true that is. I'm hoping that is the case. But with the fact that there are 4 classes, I'm sure people want to play other classes. It would be nice to have mods already for the other classes, but that's something we can see and go from there. So having
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you will, because with these, because the way the loot is, it is random. You may get certain weapons that could have a mod on it that's good for one particular class if you're not even running that class, because you do have a stash that you can put that gun up and leave it for when you level up another class. So maybe, I mean, they haven't really dived too much into that either to let you know, you can still get all the other class stuff. But because I feel like it's more Diablo-esque, where you may still get it, it just may not be, and it's not going to be the best of the best, of course, because it's not trying to drop the best for that class, since you're not running.
The more and more I see on it, and what I've talked about, I get everybody's talking about Diablo, it's gonna have more of that farming afterwards, that not daily I can't think of the word, the service, games as a service, and just gonna have more of that Diablo grindy feel.
Right.
So.
Yeah, which I'm fine with everything they've released so far. The fact that they've said it's going to take 40 hours to get to the main story.
I'm excited about that.
You have multiple tiers that you can deal with. The one thing that I can say is, I mean, I don't know if this would be NDA due to the fact that they do mention it in a video, is you
No, don't
can
say.
lower down your tier. So let's say you get bumped up
Yeah.
to tier 6, and tier 6 is just a little bit too risque for you. You can bump it down just like in Diablo and Borderlands 3 that you can bump down the difficulty. Now, mind you, as you unlock the tiers, they've mentioned this in a couple of videos, you do get rewards. And as you go up in tier, you have a higher chance of getting legendary and better loot. So it is a good idea.
And those higher mods as well.
Yeah, so it is a better idea to be in the higher ones. Remember, this game is based around being aggressive. It is not a sit back and pick people off and kind of, it's not a Gears game. It is not a try to hide and shoot from somewhere. It is, you have to be aggressive. You have to go after them. They've shown it in videos. A couple of people that have posted videos just from other stuff, they've reiterated over and over and over again, it's an aggressive game. This is going to change how you play due to the fact how many of us play a game and we're trying to play passive. We're trying to not run out there.
And they have an excellent like cover system.
Yes.
But when you try to use it, it fucks you over. So.
Yeah, the cover system that they show in the videos reminds me of Gears how you move, and people's playground did play Gears.
Reminds me of Division.
So
it's so Division and Gears.
It works very well in a way, but you also have to remember you can't stay behind that one piece of cover too long because the AI is designed to tear you apart. And also remember the game, unfortunately, I've seen it in the videos. I'm kind of wondering how it's going to work out because they have mentioned it. It is kind of more built around a co-op experience. So if you're trying to solo this, it may be a bitch. It may be a whole lot harder. It is built more around playing with one or two other people. So at least you have another person to kind of do stuff.
Good. I mean, that's the whole reason I want it.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see, wanting to do some solo stuff. Absolutely. I mean, especially when you can't game with your friends or if you're, just don't feel like it, honestly. I mean, there's times where, hey, you may want to play solo and that's fine. I just think you may not be hitting those high tiers unless you just have that epic of gear and are that good with, especially with these mods. I mean, because a lot of these mods, I mean, could definitely change.
Oh, they'll definitely change how you play and how you...
And how you could
just
even
the
go
ones
to
that
different
I have
tiers.
on my thing are I'm just like, gosh, that's so fantastic. Such a fantastic mod to have, depending on play style, especially solo, going from solo to co-op.
Especially a lot of these just random, just the randomness of all these, like just armor mods and then the gun mods. I'm just like, good God. And then you have the class mods.
You have the fucking class mods. You add it all together.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a customizable experience that I think that...
What's nice though is you can customize it to where, like, if I'm playing Devastator and if Lady is playing Pyromancer and she's playing a more sniper build or something like that, I can then build my Devastator more around. I need to take more damage. I need to be more upfront. I need to have more healing and things like that, to where you can modify it to where you can have the mods work in your group a lot better than just having a mod and you're stuck with it. One thing I do want to say, it is on Reddit. They have not deleted it. It is still there. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not NDA. One person that did play in the trial that they were running did play through the entire campaign.
Oh, it was talked about in the Outriders Discord as well. Like, somebody went through the whole thing, got to in-game. They got to level 6. I want to say he got to level 60 something.
Yeah, he
insider review.
Really, really far.
Good God.
I shouldn't say he. The person, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but the person they beat the campaign. They had started working on in-game. They did not say how far they got, but they did get into in-game, and they got to the point to where they're doing in-game stuff, which means they beat the campaign, which takes about 40 hours. Now, mind you, that's 40 hours roughly. You can actually get through it quicker.
I mean, probably go quick, yeah.
If some people are just better skilled.
Especially with co-op.
Yeah. But mind you, the trial that we did, it was single player. It's been put on Outrider, the thing, it was single player, so the fact that someone beat it single player, awesome.
It's impressive.
That's very impressive. Because I can't say too much, but I can say that it was a bitch playing single player. But I liked it. I liked it. So...
yeah, I'm excited for it, definitely. I do want to say before we get into the mods...
Talking that you liked it, I mean, I don't see that.
This is what I can say. From what we did play in the Insider program, I'll say it, Playing single player was very tough. It made me decide to switch my tactics because I'm so used to moving, shooting, moving, shooting, to where now I was having to be very aggressive at some points of actually taking the battle to the enemy, which most games don't want you to do that. They want you to take cover. They want you to heal. Well, you're not healing until you kill something. So
The
if you don't
total
kill anything, you're
relearning.
not
Like,
healing.
I was trying to, like, even though I knew I shouldn't take cover, like, I kept taking cover, and I'm like, fucking stop doing that. And then, like, the bombs, it was intense. It was good shit though. Yeah, but going into this, I do want to say that some of the mods that we're going to talk about were from the earlier builds of the game, so it's not 100% certain that these are going to be the same or
Yeah, because
as they
some of the
are on
stats
this.
may be different, or
Or they
they
could
may
take
not
the
even
mod out.
exist
Because
anymore. Yeah,
Alexander and his team have gathered over 160 mods
yeah,
over the course of being able to play the game and fuck around with it, and just what they've seen from the videos, the Outriders, pausing it and looking at those
sure.
gun stats and looking at those mods. Like, I mean, they went through and they gathered all of this information, so we're not 100% sure. So I just want to put that out there, that it's
Yeah.
a possibility that some of these might be slightly changed.
So do realize anything we do say, if we say this mod and it does this, like Lady was saying, it could possibly not exist.
Yeah.
So do not
Subject to
word.
change.
Yeah,
And
subject to.
what's interesting is that some of these mods I've actually seen where it's a question mark, so they don't even know what level it's going to be, if it's going to be 1, 2, or 3. So that itself is interesting on the fact that they know they exist, but they don't know.
They came from
where
the
it's coming
videos and shit. Like, just pausing. I'm just like, somebody went through this hard work to do this all and gather it for the community. So I just think that's fantastic. And definitely give them a follow. Cog Connected. Look at their website. Great articles
Everything
on there.
is at the bottom of this YouTube video, so please go to their YouTube. Please go to their Twitter. Blow it up. Let them know, because they did all the hard work. All we're doing is going through and picking it apart as far as what we like as far as what we think will work for ours. Now, mind you, just because I say I think this mod is great, when we go to play with it, it may totally alter the fact that that's not how it really works.
Yep.
It may be like, not as great as I thought it was. So, because some things look and sound cooler until you get to use it. So, with that, Lady, why don't you start us off? And why don't we go with armor mods first, and then once we get through all the way across armor mods, then we'll do weapon mods.
So I didn't have mine separated like that, but I can probably wing it well enough. Because the weapon mods, the base weapon mods and the base armor mods are basically the same. You can put those both on armor or weapons. And one of my first ones is actually, I think all of us probably have it down there because I saw it and I was like, this is a fucking fantastic mod. The adrenaline mod, where it's like when your health is below 50%, it reduces your cooldown by 50% on your skills. Like, I mean, why wouldn't you want that mod? Like, that's a 50% cooldown reduction on. I just think that's just a fantastic fucking mod. When you're playing as aggressive as this game is wanting you to play, you're going to be losing health.
Yeah, don't be thinking you're going to be in there full health, killing everything quickly, unless you're just on a lower tier.
Exactly.
Like,
and then some of these skill down, like the skill cooldowns are already only like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, so you're cutting that in half. You can basically be sitting there, if you're a trickster, just slicing away every 2 seconds, if you're below health. So that, I mean, I just think that's a fucking fantastic mod to have. So, and I think that is available on weapons and on armor. So
I do want to jump in real quick. Sorry. Someone did put it on Reddit, and I think I saw it on Discord. Some people did not realize how squishy the Trickster is. So when you go to pick your class, realize the Trickster is up close like the Devastator, but until you get certain mods, it is a squishy class.
I mean, technically they're all.
We all
squishy,
knew that was going to happen.
For...
It's the rogues. It's the rogue class. Rogues are squishy.
Devastator is the only one that has any kind of. Well,
they did say
health.
that you can.
I mean, you could
create.
Trickster has a way to be like a tank, but it's with manipulating with the slow time and whole bunch of other things. So I mean, it's not like a Devastator.
You're gonna have to get further down in the skill tree to get some of those things that'll actually help you out, where the Devastator starts with it. So sorry, go ahead, Lady.
No, that was kind of where I was finishing up with that, but that's definitely my first one. Are we gonna do like go around and have Bomber pick one now, or am I
Yeah,
going
that's fine.
through? Yeah, let's go to Bomber because I'm gonna pull up this
All right.
article again because I don't think I have all.
I love this just because I think Trickster might be my thing. I don't know, but they have a thing. It's called Bloody Boost for armor mod. It's
Have that
just
one
for
too.
anybody, and it grants
Yes.
damage bonus to any enemy that's afflicted with bleed.
Mhm.
And pretty much every class has potentially uh, different abilities that allow you to have the enemy bleed. So, dude, that could be huge because the more damage you do equals how you heal. So if you're getting extra bonus damage just because you have bleed on multiple enemies, and then say you add that freaking 50% buff to
Yes.
or
The
mod
cooldowns.
to
Yeah.
bring your cooldown, so then you're doing those, your abilities multiple times, bleeding multiple enemies, dude. Like, you could be one of those people that are just, you'll never die because, well, you're constantly doing damage. And that just, to me, is I thought that was a really cool one, just because I like the bleed aspect, because that's just damage over time, man. It's a dot. I like it. I mean, it reminds me of like an MMO or whatever where you have dots, man, because not many people understand what a dot is unless you've played WoW or some type of MMO before, because that you
I
don't.
need more dots.
It's like AoE.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, man. So I mean, that was one of my, see, not my favorite, but it's one of the ones I saw and was like, you know what, that
That
was
was
actually
like, yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
kind of OP. That's like an OP thing.
Exactly.
And a lot of these that we're talking about, I do want to also mention that um Adrenaline and the one you just said have a tier 1 mod and a tier 2 mod, so they get stronger. Like you'll have, you can find the tier 1 earlier on and then you'll find it again later
And
on, but it'll
apparently,
be
So,
you can pay to get these upgraded
so
by
yes.
the dude
So
that
yeah,
actually
exactly.
does the
You can
breakdowns and
break it
stuff for the
down
stuff.
yes. So
They can actually upgrade these mods for you per
I wanted
whatever
to
for
hit
whatever.
on that real quick, actually,
currency. Yeah.
because I know on here they're listing 1, 2, and 3, and I'm guessing, like Lady said, they went through the videos and they're listing these. But I remember in a video they said all the mods can be boosted from a 1 to a 2 to a 3. So even though these
Yeah.
are 1s, you can level them up. Am I correct on what we've heard so far? Is there
No,
Yes, I
I'm
mean,
pretty
at,
sure you can definitely level them
yeah.
up. So what it's going to be is we're
I
not
think the
only
ones
going
are
to be
legendary ones.
farming guns and we're not only going to be farming armor, we're going to be farming mods because I might not have access to the same mods at I think that the pronunciation for the guy's name's Zahedi is the mod guy, like in the
In the
hub.
game.
he
Yeah.
he will give you, you break down those mods kind of like in a way like in Destiny, the weapons vendor guy, like you have access to certain things and some people might not have access to other things. um but yeah, like, so I might not have access to adrenaline, but Bomber does, but I haven't found a gun with that on it yet and broken it down to have it in my inventory to be
And
able
now,
to
the
put it on
reason
my
why I
guns.
think they also have 1, 2, 3, or whatever is because that's where they found it. So it didn't start as a 1 because it's not available as a common or whatever, I guess a common mod. It's not a common mod. It is only rare, so it can only go from a 2 to a 3.
Yeah,
So it can't.
because there are
You're
sets
not
that
going to
are
get it
only
on a
threes.
common. Yeah. So because you have just the legendary ones, which you can only get off of those legendary guns that you have to break down if you want that particular mod to save forever. Because that's the cool thing. Once you break it down and save it, you have it forever, which I think is
Awesome.
fantastic.
Like, yeah, like, I
So
mean, that's what I mean. You're farming mods basically. Like, I
yep,
want access to all of them because I want to be able to customize my character and build builds. Like, I mean, being a division player and stuff like that, I want to be able to build my character based on my
cool.
playstyle.
Love these mods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So
See, I'm like, oh, I'm excited for this.
I guess when I was reading this, I scrolled a little bit too fast. We talked about earlier, slotting mods is uh, when you get legendary gear, you can break it down. You can take, theoretically, you can take one piece of armor or one weapon and boost it throughout
Put
the
it on
game
another one.
and
Yeah.
continue to upgrade it to a legendary. Now, one thing they talked about in the article, slotting it, is any piece of gear or weapon with 2 mods attached can only have 1 mod replaced, which is what we were talking about, is one of them has to be locked. The other will be locked to encourage farming. So basically, when you go to replace one of the mods, the other mod will be permanently locked. So you better make sure that if you're going to level up this armor or whatever, or the weapon, that mod that you are changing out is the mod you want, and the mod that you didn't touch you want also, because you can switch the one out constantly, but the one that you didn't touch is locked permanently. So
Yeah.
it's something to
And
remember.
that's how it's encouraging farming,
Yeah,
is because
well,
you get
Yes.
like the gun you
Yes.
and
want,
I and I hate to keep bringing it up, but it's just like Diablo. I don't know if, for anybody that's played Diablo 3,
I
it's the
was about to
same
go
thing.
there.
As soon as you go and change and add, you know, take away, I don't know, stamina to
You're
add
making
crit, well,
builds.
that's all you get. And
Yep.
unless you add another one that gives you stamina instead, I mean, to replace that one, but you can't replace anything else. So it just gives you that, it forces you in a sense to, okay, well, I changed it on
Farm.
this one. This is what I got. Well, I just got to keep farming it. Hopefully I find that same weapon again with the same mod, and or at least find that mod maybe on a different thing. It's that farm,
And
and
I'm hearing it
that's
around
the
the
want.
community. I'm hearing it when I talk about the game on other podcasts. I was on Crossfire the other night and I was talking about it, and people are like, well, what's the point in playing after you get to end game? And I'm like, well, to farm and to get everything that you want and to make your perfect fucking beast killing machine. Like that's what you want in
Well, what you want is to
Diablo.
get to
And
the
like, how
highest
many
tier
people play
difficulty, man.
Diablo
So I mean,
Oh, it's the
over
high
and over
difficulty,
again?
man.
my
That's the whole
thing
point, is to
is,
be able to run through and blast through the highest difficulty
Mm-hmm.
and being a beast. I mean, that's
yeah,
really that's
when
the point.
you get to endgame, that's when the actual, I mean, yeah, you'll have tier modes as you go through it, but once you get to endgame, that's where the massive tier modes unlock, where you're actually going to have builds, you're going to have to work together, and they've had videos where you will actually do like dungeons, but they get harder and harder the further you go and the higher you go.
And they're
So
timed.
yeah, and so I mean,
So that's
the
gonna
whole
be
point
fun.
of farming is so you can get that gear, so you can level up and everything. The one that I picked is because I like the Devastator. And I lost it. Ah, where's it
The
at?
shield.
No.
Oh, okay.
Extra quick, Earthquake. The skill can be activated one more time before triggering the cooldown, which means basically you
Also,
get to use
yeah,
it twice. And
yeah,
from
that's
the
bad.
videos,
Double.
you can use it pretty quickly. So the fact that you can use it twice, and um, it's from the videos. It's a great skill. It works well. And you can put other mods with it to where as you kill stuff, you can get more armor, you can get more damage. I mean, there's other ways that you can build it to where you can make that one ability just OP to shit. Lady, what is your second pick?
We're still on armor mods? Or are we switching it up?
Let's just do whatever. That's fine.
Okay, cool. Because the other one that I have on here I think was pretty legit. It's called Bombs Ahead, and it's killing shots turn enemies into an anomaly bomb, dealing 2,562 damage, and the cooldown's only 3 seconds, which is sweet because 3 seconds isn't that long. And it reminds me of Firefly and Destiny, when you would get those like headshots with, say,
Yeah.
Fatebringer or Sunshot, and then they'd explode and they'd kill all the fucking little baby enemies around them. I can just see that being a legit thing that I like, because that's my favorite mod in Destiny. So anything that's going to take the person that I'm killing and fucking blowing it up, I'm all for. I do also want to say, I know I keep going back and saying shit like this, but some of the names of these are fucking hilarious. Like there's one called Mosh Pit. I don't know if anybody was going to talk about it. It's not that great of a mod in my opinion, but like it was just funny. Or Shield Maiden, and I don't know. They're just great names overall. But yeah, that is one that I just thought was great. I mean, anything that's going to turn something I'm killing into a bomb to do more damage around them, and it has already a short duration. So every 3 seconds I'm getting a killing shot. It doesn't even say a critical shot. It just said a killing shot. Is
Well,
going to
even
turn
if it
them.
has one health left, it's a killing
Yeah.
shot. Boom, there
It's
you
a
go.
killing shot. And
Yep.
like that's how fucking intense this game is you're in there and you're killing things. It's like horde mode on crack.
It's
In a
exactly
way. So
what it kind of seems
yeah,
like.
I mean, it just seems like a fantastic mod for my play style, because I like to blow things up, I guess.
Yeah.
Bummer. What's yours?
My next one is actually a class specific one, and it's actually a class that I kept thinking about is Technomancer. It's
I have some
called
good fucking mods.
yeah, it's called Knockwave, and so basically every Technomancer has a turret, um, and basically depending on that turret, you can get it to do a lot of things with different mods. Well, this particular one's is basically it's called Knockwave. The turret creates an explosion when deployed, dealing 664 damage to enemies within a 6-meter radius. Now, granted, you're a technomancer, you're not supposed to really be up on people, but guess what? The enemies don't care. They're going to come after you. So there's going to be a time where you need to throw down that turret because it grabs aggro. So you drop that down, that's automatically doing damage to enemies around you, giving you health, and then it kind of gets you to get away to do things. So I mean, that's just automatic. Boom. Here's a huge, massive damage dealer, plus the turret's doing its own damage. Then you can get back, do your little boo pews. So I mean, I don't know. I thought
You
it
say
was pretty
pew-pews?
cool. Yeah, pew pew, absolutely, because that's exactly what you're
Yeah,
a technomancer.
all the
That's what you're doing.
pew-pews.
You're pew pewing all day.
Well, you're
So I mean,
pew-pewing all day
really,
as all of them.
technically everybody's doing some pew pewing. But like it's just cool, just because I want to see what it looks like too, just because so far with all the abilities that they've shown, each thing has its own like special, unique, just flair. So I would just like to see what that does. Like, if it's just like boom, here's this flame, or is it just shockwave? Like that's what it seems like it is. Like a shockwave
Yeah.
just blasts out. I mean, I don't know. To
Do
me, a
you
lot of
think that
that's cool.
Technomancer, because from what I've seen from Technomancer gameplay and just the skills and now the mods, I feel like it has like a good solo playability in a
It
way
definitely does.
because it's
Because it
kind of
has an
well
aggro
rounded.
grabber.
Yeah,
It's an
it has the
aggro.
aggro grip and it
That's
has the arsenal that you
yes.
need in a solo play.
And
So I just
it's glass cannon. So I
yeah,
mean, as long
Yes.
as you're not getting jumped on, like if you play it right, I mean,
right?
it could be a very, not gonna say easy solo mode, but it could be an easier because yeah, you're dropping down turret,
The trickster playing
which
solo is a little bit harder than playing,
yeah, I
say,
mean you don't want,
Technomancer or
yeah,
Devastator.
absolutely, because I mean it's just how, I mean, that's the reason why I
The
like
build.
this is you get so much to change, and yeah, your mod you may change time to time, just like Fork said earlier. You know, you're like, hey, we may need to change it up this time around because hey, I want to run these mods this time around with this technically set of gear because hey,
Yeah.
this may be my, hey, as a trickster, I mean, hey, I actually got my tank gear. Let me run tank, and then you can go straight damage or whatever, and it allows you to do that even with a class that's not particularly, you know. Devastator is the tank class in a sense, but hey, I could be one if I
I
want
mean,
to with trickster. So
I totally put them into those realms in my head. I'm like, I mean, you can build them around that, but I feel like
absolutely,
base stats, that's kind of what you're
yeah,
going with. You have
Yeah.
absolutely,
I mean, it starts out as the Devastator. Each of them are going to be a little bit different. The Pyromancer is obviously going to do more damage, but it's more of a glass cannon, just like the Technomancer. The Trickster is like your rogue class. It can do a lot of damage, but until you get certain points, you know, it's just the way it is. It starts out that, you know, hey, the
it's
Devastator just
quick
has more
and
health.
fast, but it's hard.
Yeah. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. Everyone's doing one mod. I'm actually going to do two mods because I want to show how both of them combined can actually make a deadly
absolutely.
combination.
I feel like my first two to combine could have done the same thing, so I want to see
Absolutely.
what you have
So
to say.
on Devastator, life absorption, gravity leap, heal for 100% of the damage dealt. If your target dies, heal for 200% damage dealt. Now, gravity leap is where you hit the ability, you decide where you want to leap to, and you jump, basically teleport to that spot. Now, with that, you can put despair on another piece of armor, which gravity leap. Enemies within damage radius of gravity leap will receive double anomaly damage. So you're doubling the
Yeah,
damage and you're getting 100% of the health back from damage. And if they die, you're getting 200% back. So those
100%,
two
yeah.
combined, that is like a massive
You're
health.
healing. Yeah, you're
Yeah, you're
healing like
healing
beast mode.
like a
That's a
beast
sweet
mode.
build,
And
and
then
that's
if
what
you
we're
have,
trying to do is build like
and
that.
then if you add any of the mods that bring down your freaking cooldown of your ability, then that's when you're just jumping around, killing and hitting things and just staying alive.
Oh yeah,
Like if you're able to just kind of just basically you're a teleporting beast is basically what you turn
and mind
into.
you, there's another mod that you
Awesome.
could also put with all this. Human Comment, Gravity Leap increases Gravity Leap's damage.
Yeah.
So there's three mods. You have a helmet, you have shoulders, you have arms, you have a chest piece, and you have legs.
And
Each one of
some of them
those
have three
can,
mods.
yeah, each one of those can have three mods. So when you start putting Gravity Leap all over, you're going to have you're gonna have an ability that basically will be like, hey, I'm running low on health. I'm just gonna kill everything right now, and I'm just gonna be fine. So I mean, that's one way where 3 mods right there. You are making
You can't.
something.
I don't think that you can have 3 mods. I think it's 2 mods
Well,
max.
even if you just do 2 mods, that's
Two
three
mods
mods.
max. Legendaries, you can do like the fancy legendary mods, but I still think it's only 2 slots. 2 slots for mods.
Yeah,
I
so you
think
could
from
Maybe,
my
run.
maybe
gathering.
that's right. That's
You
right.
could do
That's
two
right.
mods on your helmet. You could do despair and
Yeah, but it's still
heal
like
per
it
kill.
still adds up. And
Oh yeah,
imagine if
life
you can, I mean,
absorption.
what if can you double up on those mods? Will you just cut it even more in half? Like how is that?
I feel like they said that in a video, and I think we covered it. And I can't remember what it was, because I
I
think it was that you can't double up because it
It
does
can.
something. It
It just
cancels each
doesn't
other. It cancels
work.
one out or something like that. I
Well,
think that's what it is.
yeah, okay. So you want to like just play more of a
Yeah.
kind of all over the place, chaotic, not chaotic, but just everything. No, I can see that. No, that would be fucking fantastic though. Just imagine, like I can see it, like I'm like playing it in my head, like teleporting and just
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And
like
from the
fucking
videos,
shit up.
it's about a 5 to 10 second cooldown. So 5 to 10 seconds, you were literally jumping around, killing crap like crazy, getting all your health back, and you're still running and gunning to the next thing, or getting to somewhere to hide just for a second before you can kill something. One thing we have talked about, and I want to keep reiterating it so you truly understand: you do not regen health unless you have abilities that do it. Like, you are not going to sit
Like my
still, and
next
your health
mod.
bar is going to go up.
that doesn't
Yeah.
that doesn't work. Nope.
No, no. You
And
can
the only
sit
person
Speaking
that
behind
of
it.
can
that,
heal, and the only thing that can heal themselves is the technomancer or other
Yeah.
people. I
And
should
mind
say.
you, there are mods and perks that do help with that, but from the get-go,
No, you're not gonna sit there and just heal. You don't
no.
have a health potion. You don't have a
Your
legendary
health potion
item.
is
There's
killing
not.
people.
Yeah, go kill things.
easy. Like I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of like just a
Which it's so
fun
hard.
fucking thing.
It is
It is
hard
so
to get
hard.
your mind wrapped around that though,
Yes,
because you are
it was
used
hard
to,
for me.
okay, I gotta kill things and then go hide real quick and then maybe heal. Let the crap. No, never mind. Okay, let's go in here and destroy things. So I mean, watching these videos and these people just that's all they're doing. Like very rare do you ever see anybody hide. And that's probably just to think about what they're doing for a second. But other than
Fucking
that, it's
around
just
with it.
they're running around getting to
Kill,
every
yeah.
little thing they can to
And
kill it because
and
that's their
mind
only
you,
option.
they could be
If
doing that due to the fact that how many games have we all played where you want to take cover, and that's
No,
just been
absolutely.
ingrained in us.
and
Where
I kind
I
of
want to get
found
cover.
not a way around it, but a way kind of like I was almost dead. I was like, I'm gonna take cover and snipe people because the snipers from what I like fucked with, like they were pretty OP. So it was like I'm gonna hang out back here, kill 3 of them, and gain some health, and then go back at it. So I mean,
So
that's one way
speaking
to
of
go about it.
snipers, the one thing I will hit on that, playing snipers solo, not a great idea.
I did it. Just
Yeah,
don't be a pussy like Fork.
you know what? It's not bad, but they will sneak up on you very quickly. And when you have one weapon as a sniper, you better have something that is close range like a shotgun, because
So you should always play that way.
But I still think overall the cooldown is your ability cooldowns is what's gonna truly I think that's gonna be
Matter.
the number one like
Abilities are
perks.
OP. Like, and
Like
I
your
kept
yes,
not using
absolutely.
them.
Oh god,
At
no,
first, I was not using them because like I'm so used to like the cooldown being
that's
so
true.
far in most games that like I wasn't even thinking about them. I'd use them and then I'd be like, okay, I have
Now some of these cooldowns are
forever.
long, like Technomancer has one that's like 15 seconds long. So you do have to see, but of course it lasts longer than most other. So it's kind of like that back and forth.
I want something to
It
last a
lasts
little
longer, but then
longer.
it's something that you know it costs. It takes a longer time to even start it. So it you kind of can play with them, and that's the good thing. Is like, hey, you may want to build that way. You may not. You may build it where you are just a running gun. Like you can care less about your ability. Yeah, your
Rambo.
abilities are there, but you may just want to beef up your gun abilities. I mean, hey, that's an option.
So I scrolled a little further down, and legendaries, there is a Devastator, Gauntlets of the Cannonball, Despair,
Yeah.
Gravity Leap. Your primary target receives triple anomaly damage for 5 seconds. Human Comet, Gravity Leap increases Gravity Leap's damage.
You have legendary armor for like each class specific.
Yeah, so you could
so it's just like
run that.
Yeah. I actually have some legendary mods on mine for class specific things that are pretty fucking awesome in my
Yeah, so
mind.
you could run that and then run those ones I just said, and I mean you're using Gravity Leap to massive healing.
So. You're using these mods for your favorite skill for a
Yes.
way. So you're just a fucking
And one thing I did want
gravity
to say real
leaping.
quickly is we covered a video a couple weeks back on legendary weapons, and I want to say we went over 8.
Yeah, they had 8 that they currently have shown.
Yeah, the Alexander Thomas and his team, they have 11 on this article. So take a look at the
Yeah,
article.
there's different ones.
There are a couple different ones in there, so something else to look
Some
at.
of them are badass looking because I saw them on the article and then I googled them, find out more about them, and some of them are pretty fucking sweet. That thunder one, fucking
Yeah.
cool.
The cool thing is looking at some of these legendary mods for each of the classes too.
Classes?
Like,
well, it makes me want to play all the classes, and I'm not
No,
usually a
absolutely.
class juggler. Like I am usually like I am going to
kinda am.
perfect my class and I'm going to play it because I
Uh.
don't have the time. But like this makes me want to be like, I want to play them all so I can do all
Yeah.
of the things.
So,
Super cool.
what's your next mod, Miss Lady?
Ladies' night. It was I I'm gonna go off of your health thing, talking about like you can find these mods that are going to help you regain health. And I'm not gonna be sexist, but I'm like a female, and I'm always like, oh, I can heal people, or I can heal things. I'm gonna do it. It's blood potion, and it's critical shots towards enemies in close range, afflicted with bleed. Oh wait, you said that. Was that yours?
I mean, bleed. I did the one that if it bleeds, it gives you like 664 damage or whatever.
Oh yeah, no,
There's-
this one is increases your health regen by 100 points per second.
Yeah, I didn't do that one. But that's that's
so
a cool
it's
one.
blood potion. So it's like it's literally the name is blood potion. That is your potion. Your potion, is kill somebody and then you're gonna get health regen by 100 points per second. Or per 5 seconds is actually what it is. It's per 5 seconds, but still, like that.
They just have to they have to be bleeding though, right? They have to have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bleed, right?
It says afflicted with bleed increases health regen, and it has to be in close range. So still, but I mean, everything. I feel like if you're playing in the right way, and I keep looking at you,
you're gonna be a
and
close
not
range
at my
unless you're techno. Unless you're techno, you're gonna want to be away.
Yeah, you don't want. Might not want that mod as a techno,
Right.
or maybe even as a pyro, because sometimes
because they're
pyro
mid-range.
doesn't play super close range.
But then again, you watch some of those videos, man. He's unfortunately has to be because he's having, getting jumped on, especially solo wise. So I mean, hey, you may be in some positions where, hey, shit, you may have to put yourself in there. So.
No, definitely. But yeah, that's one. I like anything that has to deal with like my health regen, not because I play super shitty, but because like I play super like upfront and personal. So like even when I am playing in any RPG, like some of the first skill points I put into are my health tree, are my armor, my anything like that that's going to make me a little bit beefier and harder to kill.
Yeah, make yourself a little bit more alive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think mods like that, because you don't necessarily have other ways to make yourself that crazy or like that hard. Like you have to use mods. Like these are your, I mean, I guess your skill tree does too.
Skill tree is gonna help.
We're gonna go into skill tree because I've been looking into it, and I've been looking into all the different mods for each of the things, and I feel like we should do a skill tree episode, so keep your eye out for that.
We will be covering that. Bomber.
All right, so I'm gonna do a couple together because this is ridiculous, and this is for you.
You're doing it too. I should have done it.
This is freaking Devastator. Okay, this is 2 legendary mods that you can put, like you can get, that you may have on 2 separate pieces of armor, man. Okay, so the Devastator has a ability called Impale, which if anybody's played, what is that freaking game? I can't think of it right now. Anyway, basically he hammers into the ground and spikes come out and impale things. No, it's a single player game, has 2 of them. Anyway, basically that game particularly, he has some type of mutated thing and he can stick his hands in the ground and spikes come up and kill people. So basically this is the very
yeah,
I can't remember the name of the game.
Starts
anyway.
Well, it's
I know Dragon Age has something like that with Iron.
Something like type or
prototype.
Prototype. That's it. So prototype.
I never played
that. Has this exact freaking thing because it was called Impale as well. But anyway, So the mod for there's two mods. There's one called Palisade, and it says the skill can strike 2 additional targets. However, if you have Ultimate Impaler, Impale, the skill can be activated 2 more times before it triggers the cooldown. So you can literally
I'm sorry, I
trigger,
smiled, but
you can literally hit Impale 3 times, hitting, I think the regular thing hits 2 targets at once, so that's 4 targets. So that's 4 times 2 more times after that. So I mean, you're technically getting 12 targets
And
within your
there's
before your cooldown even starts.
and there's
like you build
mods.
that up with the Trickster, because Trickster has these things to where it makes the
Insane.
freeze go longer. Like it makes your
Yes.
freeze go longer.
Yeah.
They
Like-
have these mods, so you're playing with the Trickster who has increased their freezing thing. So you're freezing, Trickster's freezing, and you're
And you're
impelling over
stabbing
and over
things.
again.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Dude,
and mind you,
like,
there's mods that
fucking-
also if
Some-
it heals off the impale anybody.
we're getting
Yes.
happy about
any
it.
ally
We're getting happy thinking about it,
within
Bomber.
seven
Look
and
at
then
us.
any
meters
ally
of you.
within, yep. And then
So-
if you're, and then that starts bleed, because Impale does make you bleed. So then if you have those mods like we were
Those
talking about
other
earlier
mods,
that
you're like,
make
I'm
it bleed,
healing.
and you're getting
Oh my
healing from that,
God.
like dude, you're just that cycle. It's just that cycle, and that's
Oh, yeah.
and that's
It's gonna
where
be building things is gonna be
Oh,
the
dude.
best part of this game. I feel like building your skill sets, building with your mods, your armor, all of that is gonna be one of the
it's
best
a
things.
it's gonna be a lot of reading. That's all it is. Like you're
Oh,
just gonna be
it's gonna be
focused on
math
reading
and
all your
shit.
stuff. Oh yeah. I can already see
gamer
Fork like,
math.
all right, we're gonna get in here, and my Impale's gonna do 43.64%
I'm gonna
more
make up
damage when
notes.
you do your.
Notes. This is my character today. Everybody build off of this shit.
I can
Yes.
see it.
We're just gonna bleed
Yes.
everything to death.
That's right. Hey, dude, and it may be something that we do. Hey, all 3 of us just start doing a bleeding freaking tier, and we'll just go after it. Everybody just
Period.
start
Amp
healing
flow
off
is here.
bleeding. Absolutely, blood everywhere. Oh man.
So, good
It's-
shit though.
All right,
I
I
Fork.
liked it. What about you,
They-
Fork?
Alrighty, so I'm gonna do 2 things. I'm gonna do a mod, and then I'm gonna switch it up to guns that we like as far as what we would like to get for as far as the legendary. So my last mod that I'm looking forward to is Armor Boost. Earthquake grants roughly 4,000 points of armor for each enemy affected by the skill. Effect lasts for 10 seconds, stacks up to 10 times. So if you get a whole bunch of guys together and you slam this down, and there's other ones that allow you to do it multiple times, like extra quick, the skill can be activated 1 more time before triggering a cooldown. You basically could be a walking fortress of, I'm just going to go out there, guys, and I'm just going to not die, and you just kill stuff. And like we said, building around your team, if you could build something to where you're basically just having so much armor that nothing can hurt you, but you're out there just being the tank while your team destroys everything.
Yeah.
So, and from there, and mind you, we're scratching the surface. We covered a couple mods each. There are so many mods. And honestly, I've gone through the mods, and there's not mods where I'm like, no. I mean, I enjoyed Devastator. I played it in the Insider. There's not one on here that I'm like, no, that's not a good mod. It's more of, okay, that mod would work with this, which is what I like, because it allows you to build builds around all the mods, not just, well, that's a useless mod. A lot of us have played Destiny. We all know Destiny. There are certain perks that are just completely useless. Like, they're not situational. They're useless.
Reminds me more of Division building, and I mean, I haven't played too much, but like in Division, you build your right character, you build these things, you know, for your gear score, all of these things, like you can be like a badass, and like there's specific people out there who make YouTube videos and stuff like that that are just on like, look at this build I just fucking made, and it's like OP, like, and I'm just so excited to fucking get into that and shit. So yeah, definitely Fork.
So, and Bomber, one thing that I also found is there's also legendary tier 3 mods where you can have an ultimate impaler, and there's also a armor mod, ultimate impaler.
Yeah.
So that's like, it's just like, you could impale the shit out of the entire just field and just be like, I'm just gonna stand here and just impale shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so my gun that I am looking forward to, they have not covered this whatsoever, but
I wonder if it's the same one I have down. I'm so excited.
There's 2 of them, but I'm just gonna go with one of them. Mine is the Juggler. 3 scrap grenade. First shot after reload becomes an anomaly projectile dealing 4,600 damage. in a 5-meter radius, cooldown 1 second. Now, mind you, this is an assault rifle, so every time you reload, that's going to happen. It's not a percentage, it's as soon as you reload. The second perk is Minefield. Weapon kills spawn explosives around your target. Each deals 1,800 damage in a 3-meter radius. So this is basically just making a bomb after a bomb. As you kill people, there's just shit going off everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a fucking badass gun. Did you look it up and did you look at the design of it?
Not yet.
You should do it. Can I do a gun too? Can I do a gun?
do
I
it.
didn't get to talk about one. I want to talk about, and I think I'm gonna say this totally wrong because it's kind of a fucking hard word, but the molten Idola,
yeah.
whatever,
Or
legendary
Idola.
rifle.
It could be
It's
Idola. Heck,
Idola. I don't even know. It's a fucking rifle, but like the perks sound like super supernatural. Like I'm like, oh, this is some like fucking crazy organic shit. Like ravenous locust. Shots create a swarm of locusts dealing 475,685 damage over 15 seconds and inflicting weakness to enemies remaining within a 6-meter radius of a target, cooldown of 2 seconds. I'm just like, what?
And that's shots create.
Shots.
So
create.
This is a rifle, so it's gonna be like pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
So every
like,
2 seconds, you're
I'm
creating
gonna have a swarm.
500,000
It's
damage.
gonna be like the fucking
That's insane.
Whatever
that's insane.
that Bible term is. What is
Well,
it?
it's over 15 seconds, so that's 500,000 damage over 15 seconds. So roughly you're doing 25,000 damage per second and inflicting weakness to enemies, which means they'll take extra damage from anything else they get hit with. And it's a cooldown of 2 seconds, so you could literally, the lady can sit back.
You're doing it over and over.
Pop multiple enemies.
And then you turn in the second mod for that gun, which is Brain Eater, which is critical shots do not consume ammo. So
yeah. That is nasty.
It's can you that gun sounds amazing.
And then hitting Impale, and you hit all those guys that are now taking damage with Impale.
Right.
Now they're bleeding on top of it.
Which is what else is crazy is that like you're thinking abilities, your own abilities, but then your rifles have their own abilities. Like that's literally an ability. It's freaking this swarm of locusts going after things, killing things. Like,
and you can
to me, that's
take some of these mods off and switch them out for something.
I want to like show people the picture of this gun because it is so pretty. In a way, I don't think I can really pull it up. I might be able to like do it. No, see, it doesn't even do it justice. But it's such a fucking badass looking gun. It looks like just calcified molten lava, like in all these pretty designs. I'm excited for it. It's like I feel like right now that's just the gun that I'm like I want to get it and I want to have it and I want to play with it.
The gun that I definitely like, I looked at all of them. And this one just kept coming at me just because of its secondary little thing. Because this first thing is like it's all right, it's cool, but so it's called the Thunderbird. It's an assault rifle.
Fucking beautiful.
It looks pretty cool. It has like bone. It's like all made of bone and like
bones
of course
and
a lot of this thing. Yeah, like it's
so organic. I mean, I've said it over and over again. The
so
organic feel are so fucking beautiful. Like it's so beautiful.
It's pretty. But the Thunderbird. So its first thing is called Ultimate Storm Whip, and basically just any shot that you do brings down lightning on an enemy, dealing 138 damage. So that's just you're constantly doing an extra 138. But the second one, which is Striga, is 30% of your critical damage is returned to you as health. So any critical damage you're doing, 30% of it is coming back to you. So the cool thing is a lot of guns, and this is something that you'll probably start seeing once the game comes out in less than a month now. Thank God. Woo! Especially as of today, it's less than a month now.
Fucking crazy.
But you'll notice that you shooting things and you're not really healing much. Well, it's because you're not doing a lot of damage because they don't. So these things allow you, when you hit that crit, boom, you're getting that 30% extra on health. I mean, it's just huge things, especially when you're waiting for your stuff to cool down. You got to use your guns. So I don't know. I just thought it was just a really cool thing, especially once you start hitting those higher tiers and you're doing a ton of damage. Shoot, I mean, you may be hitting a
And then where you're
30K.
taking the damage and you
Yeah.
need that damage back. Like you need
Exactly.
that health back.
And
So
I
yeah,
think that's just a
definitely.
really cool thing, and that's just what's on the freaking gun.
And there's like
I don't know.
yeah, there's not even that
So
many, and like they have said that there are so many guns that I'm just like, gosh, what do they have out there in store? Pretty soon, Outriders, the guys there on the PR team, the whatever, they're going to be doing a armor special. Like we had the guns a few weeks ago.
Yes,
We're gonna
that's
have the armor coming up in the next week.
coming.
I'm thinking in the next week. I want to say it's coming up. I I'm like my fingers are
They've
crossed.
talked
They're
about
gonna
that
do it tomorrow.
they said last week that it's coming soon, so I'm thinking with Lady that we're gonna get it starting tomorrow.
I
And
think
we
it's
will
gonna
do a
start
video
tomorrow.
covering that. We'll do a video covering the skills that we know of and whatnot, the skill trees.
which they did do with the guns. They started just doing tweets. They just started tweeting a 5-second video or 20-second
Yes.
video of
And they
one
were
gun, and they just talked about that gun there and be done. And they may start doing that, like you said. Like you may start
well,
getting
that's exactly
one
what
or two
happened. They
pieces of
put out a
armor.
poll. They put out a
Yep.
poll and they said, "What do you want to
cool.
hear next? Do you want another gun? Do you want armor mods next? Do you want this next?" And I mean, I voted armor, or not
I'm all about
mods, but
some
I
armor,
voted
man.
armor,
And-
exotic armor, because that was fucking sweet. Seeing that shit and seeing the armor that they put even on the characters that they used in the exotic weapon thing, I'm like, oh my god, that fucking helmet looks sick. Like they had a helmet that looked like
Stuff
Ghost
looks
Rider.
cool.
Like it was just like a skull inside, like a smoky skull. I'm like, oh my god, that fucking helmet. And
Some of
then
the
you
stuff
see
just
the
looks so cool.
exotic armor mods that if you go to this website and you look at the armor mods there, like you can scroll down and you can see some of the exotic mods that we've seen. There's one called like the Grim Inventor mask for the Technomancer that gives you 3 extra rockets. Like,
When you
well,
get
and
your rocket
if you're a
launcher.
Technomancer and you're the only class that has rockets, 3 rockets is pretty amazing.
hold on. So speaking of that, there's that, but then there's also the Grim Inventor's coat. So you have Grim Inventor's mask, the Rocket Man tool of destruction. You can shoot 3 additional rockets.
Mhm.
You put the coat on, cannonade, pain launcher, increases the number of rockets launched by 10.
Fuck, I didn't
You're doing
see that.
shooting 30 damn rockets at everybody. Shoo, 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 shoo.
So hold on.
You're like a
hold
fucking
on.
arsenal.
Hold on.
Have you-
It
If you
keeps
watch
getting
any of those videos with
it keeps getting worse. Fortify, tool of destruction. Activate skill grants 18,000 armor bonus.
God, so that basically, if
Hold
you
on.
want to melt, if you
look
want to
this
melt a boss, that's what you do.
Oh, hold on.
You just turn all that
gets-
on and go, pew.
Yeah, that's gonna be like your
better.
raid gear.
Oh, hold
Like,
on. The last mod is upgraded gun, tool of destruction. Active skill grants 20% resistance penetration bonus. So that means if you have both of
God,
these,
that's
you're
armor
going to be
pen.
doing massive damage with it because now you're launching 14 rockets because you only launch 1 technically, but now you're launching 3 more and then 10 more, so you're launching 14 rockets. 20% more resistance penetration on each of those rockets, and then you get a massive armor bonus that then you can do whatever you need to do since you were just standing out there, shooting rockets.
have your
But that's-
fucking little buddy who's a trickster just like freezing them in place to where you're just like
And see,
fucking
I-
raining them down.
I remember watching this, and I remember seeing the rocket, and I think I told Bomber, I'm like, you get one
Dude.
rocket? I was kind of like, that's not that impressive. It does a lot of damage, but now seeing this, it's like, never mind. This is
Yeah, because you
where-
can literally just go, hey, Techno, I need you to melt down the boss. Like,
It's-
basically, it's what you are.
You're
Like,
you're
melt
fucking
him down,
DPS.
please.
Like you are DPS. You're going
Well,
to
you're
be
glass
melting
cannon, so
our
go
fucking character.
blow
or
him
not
up real
even
quick.
damage per second. You're just
we'll
fucking...
we'll kill all the little guys. You just blow him up. Like that is insane. If you do have, I mean, granted, that's gonna probably take some time to get all those mods to be able to.
Well, exactly, and
put
that's what
those together, but-
why
No,
that's
no.
amazing.
Everything I
that's
just
why
told
we
you-
don't want a games as
Is
a
that
service.
just on
That's
the armor
why.
itself?
Everything I just told you is on the armor. That
Oh,
is
jeez. So basically, if you just
Beast.
get that armor,
Yeah, so that's
my
standard on the
God.
armor. Now, mind you, the legendary, from what they've said, and even on this article, you can change out these mods. The legendaries
Right.
are locked. You cannot take them out, but you can take out. Fortify is a level 1 mod. Upgraded gun is a level 1 mod. So you could take these out and switch them out for something else. But these are on. So if you get this legendary item, and speaking of
that you just have
legendaries,
that then.
when
Yeah.
they came out, somebody did ask about, and I think me and Lady covered it in the gun video, Somebody had asked about how many legendaries there are, if there's going to be enough, and they said we could do 2 legendaries a day and still not have enough to meet the game release. And the game was already like 60 days out, so that's 120 legendaries that they said, hey, look, we got more than that. So
and
That's
that's
so
good.
you're
I mean, that's
farming, you're getting these guns,
plenty.
and you're loving these mods or whatever, and then you get it twice. And in some games you're like, oh, I fucking got the same fucking
This game, you're
legendary gun.
happy
Like I
because
don't
you
need
need it
it. Like, but you can take that gun and you can take it over to Zahidi and you can break it down and have that mod in your back slot to put on
forever.
other fucking guns, like or other
yes,
armor. Like it's
but you
fucking
could also
amazing. It's
make
fucking sweet.
armor and everything set up already ready to go for, like, if you wanted a bleed set, you could have armor set up already for a bleed set. You could have armor set up for all sorts of different sets to where if you
And
get on
this
with
is
your
why you have
friends.
6 character slots. Like I feel like, and I've said
Yes.
it before over and over again. I'm like, and everybody's like, why is there 6 character slots when you only have 4 playable types? And I'm like, well, that's your juggling to where you want to just do it on the go. Like, okay, I have my
Now,
this build here, this build here.
have they said storage is shared across characters?
Your stash
Your
is.
Okay.
So
stashes.
your
Okay.
stash, just like Diablo, your stash is shared between all
Okay.
your characters.
I couldn't remember
Just
if they
like
had said that or
Division.
not. I was hoping they would, just because if you decide to make a,
And I would
pyromancer.
and I would assume I don't know how they're going to do with currency because I know Diablo, your currency is shared between all of it. So
I would think it would
I
be
don't know what they're doing.
I would think it'd
I
be
think it's
shared
all shared.
across, just due to
Honestly,
the
I
I
just
would think
see
so.
people out there with Excel sheets and like, okay, like
Oh,
this
do
is in
you
my
know?
stash. This is my
Hey,
character. I need to pull this
yeah.
gun from
Look,
this stash. Like
you
it's
know the
gonna be
nerds of the biggest nerds of the nerds are gonna have their Excel
mhm,
spreadsheet telling you this is your
ready.
best in slot, and I'm like, okay, look, that's cool, thank you, because I'm not doing all that. Like, I'll just keep on going until I just build something that I figure. Because I know a lot of us have used Icy Veins for different games, Diablo, and also World of Warcraft, and to me, I I'm not even going to go to any of these websites right at first. I want to learn. I want to
I
learn,
want to learn.
and I may find something that I build because I kind of did that with Diablo. I found one for my barbarian that like nobody else used. Like nobody ever said it was good, and I use it. And I'm like, it's freaking balling. So I mean, that's one
Bummers
thing
out
I
there like
did
I'm a
like
basa. Y'all need to
absolutely.
bow the fuck
So I
down.
mean, I don't know. I'm excited to know that the so many different mods, and some of it's probably going to get overwhelming with the mods, definitely, because I mean, just knowing that there's
Because this
over
isn't even all of
160
them.
right now, and that's with early builds. So I mean, it could be well over 300-400. We don't know. And if
You're
that's the
just going to
case,
be
shit,
stumbling upon them and
yeah,
building onto your arsenal, and it's just going to be fantastic. And that's why I wanted to do this mod kind of episode to kind of show everybody like this is like the next. It's not just a looter shooter in my mind. Like it's taking so much from so many
a lot of
categories
games.
and just making like a game if they can pull it off. And I am so hesitant because I have been
Oh yeah, we've all been,
Oh yeah.
shitted on
we've all
before.
been,
We've
what is
all
that?
The
The
ability is there and I'm
anthemized.
excited.
catfished, whatever you
Yeah.
want to consider
We
it.
want you guys to be
But
excited.
oh
Okay,
yeah, I mean,
so
I'm excited. Let's do this.
we
If it
are
sucks after a while, then whatever.
we are gonna end it here. Before we end it, lady, we'll start with you. Let's pick a actual class and say how you want to play it. As far as because pretty much any
Do that
class
to
you can
me
play
on the
almost
fucking
anyway.
fly.
Then I'll go first. I still like Devastator. I'm looking forward to playing Devastator. One thing I have found is that with Devastator from the videos and from stuff in the Discords, is the fact that you can actually make him to where he's more built for group play or he's more built for solo play, which is some of the other classes also. But I like the fact that he's just like a rolling tank. So I'm looking forward to having that. I'm really wanting to just really max out this Impale to where it just bleeds and kills, to where I can just kill with it constantly and just never run out of health. And then also
Absolutely.
stack on it the what do we talk about
The your the damage with the leap.
gravity leap. Doing those
Gravity
two on
leap. Yeah.
top of it, to where I can basically bleed something, kill it, and get
Impale
massive amounts of health. So I'm excited.
Slam impale.
It's just that's where I'm at. I want to play Devastator. I would love to play Devastator with my wonderful assault rifle that I hope is exactly what I want it to be, which is the Juggler, because it does sound like it could be a lot of fun to play with. So, Bomber, I'll let you go so we can give Lady a little more time.
I will say this
Took me a
because
second.
I didn't play this class.
Oh, you're gonna take the one I
played.
just fucking built in my head, aren't you?
Fine.
Let's see. Go for it.
So Pyromancer. The main reason why
You did it.
I kind of Trickster is still kind of my number one, but I want to do something with the Pyro mainly because I love fire. Fire abilities have always been freaking amazing, and just basically being even though it's not a glass cannon per se, but it could be built with all the different mods that are out there to be able to be just burning constantly, making things explode. So I mean, there's so many different ways that you can, and there's
You have like
more,
fire frenzy
and
with
there's
your
so
thermal
many.
bomb.
Yes, there's
It's gonna
so
be
many
great.
AOE options with the Pyromancer, and that's where I
Yep.
think that particular class that's the way I would go, because you would be able to, with as many of the freaking enemies there are, and the way they spread them out, because you can watch all the videos, man. It's not just them running after you and that's it. No, they're hiding behind stuff. They're everywhere, so you can be doing a ton of damage everywhere because they have a burning ability with almost all, and every time you do your abilities, they're set on fire, which does a dot, and then you have other abilities. So I mean, that's where I would be going. Be the area damage ones, the AOE damage with the dots, and that's how I would be building that one. Not just straight like critical, like not with your guns and stuff like it. It's going to be a primarily just your ability burning, and yeah, because I mean the
All that
pyro,
fun thing. You're just gonna be
that
like the
pyro
fire
just
starter. Drew
yeah,
Carey. Or
straight
Drew,
up,
not Drew Carey.
straight up Human Torch could burn everything.
Drew Barrymore. That's it. One of those bitches.
But yeah.
No, Pyro definitely has like piqued my interest. I didn't get to play it much, but looking into it now, I'm like, oh, I can see, like with the mods and looking more into the mods, I could see building like a character that I'm like, fuck, that could be badass. Like, and the armor that comes with the Pyro is super appealing to me personally, because like
The look of the pyro,
fucking,
I think
yeah,
is
it's
sick.
fiery and crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and, because we've been talking about it and you just talked about Pyro, so I'm gonna go with the Technomancer, because I feel like there are builds there that I can make to where when nobody else is online, I can make my Technomancer be able to stand on its own and be able to melt enemies and do these things that I want it to be able to do, um, without dying constantly. It has so many armor perks. Like there's quite a few armor and like health regen that comes with the Technomancer class that I feel like that plus the heavy damage it can do can make it just stand on its own. So I'm gonna kind of go with that build as my thing that I
Oh
want to
yeah.
talk about. So yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Thank you guys for all joining for us and listening, and make
If you
sure
have
you
any
check
questions,
out
please drop
Connected.
them down below in the comments. Please click on the link that we're going to put in here. Make sure that you do give Alexander Thomas and his team a shout out. I will put it on Twitter when we do launch the video. And if you have any questions, we have a Discord. You can hit us on Twitter. You can also check out all the videos that we do have on here. It is under the Outriders folder. We will be posting some more videos up until launch, and then at launch we will be posting, who knows, probably different builds and whatnot that we found that we like. And we'll also be available to play with you guys, stream and whatnot. So please tune in. If you have any questions,
Definitely.
please drop them.
I've been thinking about doing some videos on this too. I'm going to throw it out there that I might have some videos made for the channel, hopefully, on just things that I feel. That's cool.
So there you go. More and more videos. But seriously, if you guys have any questions, please ask them. We do have connections with Discord and whatnot, and Lady has all sorts of friends that she's got up her sleeves. So if you have any questions, please ask them. We are just as excited for you as you guys are. We also are just as hesitant as you guys are with everything that has happened over the last
Go play shooters.
2
So hard.
years with games. The one thing I do want to say before we end this is I do believe, and this is just my theory, that if this game is as good as we're hoping and it does go, that yes, this is not a game of service, so once you get the game, there is no DLC, but we could possibly see a Outriders 2 or possibly something else to where they can
Diablo-esque,
continue it.
Diablo-esque
or
expansions.
or yeah, I was gonna say, or if things get crazy and they see it blow up, shoot, we could get some DLC.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not
they
gonna
said there's no DLC plan, but, you know, if it blows up and they're
never
making a
know.
ton of
Hey,
money,
exactly.
Sony,
If
It's a win.
Sony may
Let's
be
be
like,
real.
hey,
Square needs a fucking win.
yeah,
Sony,
oh, sorry, not Sony, but Square may be like,
Square.
we're going to bleed this turnip. Keep going.
yeah, Square's gonna be like, hey, people can fly. Come on, I need y'all to let's make this.
We're
Let's
gonna
do
need you
this.
to make some more games. Avengers hurt us. So if you guys got
Exactly.
any
That's
questions,
where I'm like,
Yes, that's so true.
yeah.
Yes.
They're
Please
closing.
drop
Like,
them
I mean,
below.
word on the street is they're closing whole teams right now. Like, they're
Uh,
hurting enough to they're closing
I mean,
shit.
it wouldn't
So
shock me. So, but yeah, if you guys have any
Yeah.
questions, shoot them out. We would love to answer them. And thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys on the next stream.
definitely.